Luis. Senor Travis Terrell. And this is We Are Live. I used the feminine version because we're feminist.
I don't understand you. It's Chris Denman, Travis Terrell. We are live from Midcoast Studio. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got it rocking and rolling. We stream live there and on Facebook each day, Monday through Friday. Happy to be here. So is Chris Gardner. He's always excited to pop on the screen live from 12 feet that way.
Oh,
Good morning, Mr. Gardner.
Good morning. I'm all the way over here.
hey guys.
All the way over here.
What are you exploring?
Marquise.
What are you exploring in that vest?
My Eddie Bauer vest.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing Eddie Bauer back.
Nice try. It's Eddie Bauer Vest.
Vest? Oh.
Hello.
Actually, I got yelled at by John Beebe of buyjack.com this morning. He said they call it a waistcoat.
In their country?
I guess.
That is so
He
stupid.
said, or maybe it's his country or something fashion terminology.
He's a liar.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I go, why would you call it a waistcoat? He's like, well, because it goes right below the waist to cover the belt. And I go, wouldn't it be more apt to call it a torso coat
I'm
then?
going to say that that's just stupid. That's why we kicked your ass in war.
I mean, come on now. A
Idiot.
waistcoat?
That's how they lost. Morons. Also, we had help from the French, but outside of that, still.
You know, a lot of things went our way,
Yeah.
and some things didn't. I'd be remiss if I didn't throw that
Oh,
W
look at
up.
that, Chris. That was a slow burn. I liked it. It's walnuts.
Feel
There we
that.
go. Put it. Oh, look, Chris got an eagle this time. That's an eagle.
It's like a leg
But
day.
that's
Slow
a
burn.
Yeah.
I like it.
You were showing
go out
off
with
some
a
of
leg
your
day.
you were showing off some of your exercises yesterday.
Yeah, my knee
Here in the office.
exercises.
Yeah.
Do high knees. Just try to wiggle that leg around some. Try and loosen it up. I was doing it while I was smoking this morning. In the cold weather. Just gets tight.
Well, that's why you gotta, you gotta push a rehab just a little bit each week.
Well, it's my own rehab.
Okay. Well, that may
I
be.
haven't really had
not-
advice from
Okay. Just
doctors or physical therapists on what to do.
Okay. Maybe reason why your knee is creaking.
Yeah, but I needed my insurance to be better before I
Okay.
do anything. Which I finalized my open enrollment yesterday.
Congratulations.
I stepped it up a level.
Obamacare. Did you know the approval rating for Obamacare is still higher than this president?
That would make sense.
I just feel like we've spent the last 4 years doing
Even
whatever
after
we can
you try
to
to
get rid
tear
of it.
apart
Yeah.
and make it not work.
They can do everything you can within your legal powers, and some illegal,
Yeah.
to not make it work. And here it is. Millions of Americans still using it. Millions of
got me-
Americans can still
I got
need
me
it.
my Obamacare for next year.
Good for
Signed
you.
up yesterday.
Good for you. Way to
Talking-
take care of yourself and your future.
Talking about Romney Care?
Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Starts to work. All of a sudden becomes the white man's care. Interesting.
Didn't he
Guess-
start it?
Good to see this strategy at work. Everyone couldn't wait to call it Obamacare. And now that it's working and people see it as an affectionate term, now, well, Romney kind of made it first. Well, it was this one dude who did it. And
Oh no, I'm asking.
no, it was Obamacare. It's Obama name on it. It's Obamacare. You don't get no credit now because everybody half the country like it.
I thought I'd want to jump off a cliff by like 8:20.
Got to
But
it
it's
early.
8:08.
There we go.
You did this to yourself.
You did do it to yourself.
8:08 and heartbreak.
He gets his little Rogan on. Well, didn't Mitt Romney one time I read or another?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What
I just
does
want-
that
I've
mean?
been- it's been a
you say that
it's
per
been,
show.
It's been a while since I've dogged Rogan. It's been at least a week,
Yeah.
so I at least had to throw one in before we get to the
And
end
why
of this
do you
one.
make whenever you do your voice?
I don't know because
really
I feel like
weird.
because every conservative freak sounds just like that. Everyone they have you heard Ben Shapiro speak?
So you
Yeah.
think-
Exactly. So
you
every
think
one of those guys.
Rogan's a conservative freak?
Because you got to be a moderate and a libertarian. Shut up, white man.
Well, you gotta be
want to
white.
thank our 99% white audience.
Hey, guys!
Tuning in.
Shut up, white man.
Appreciate you supporting all of our sponsors and all the great people that put all the hard work.
Not them,
into
of course, Chris.
Can we get a new T-shirt?
Not
Shut
them.
up, white man.
Shut up, white man.
this. Big sellers.
Sponsored by Tech Electronics.
No,
oh, that's
do
weird.
not.
That's a weird thing for them to sponsor.
No. Why?
Well, not those white men. Those are different white men. They're my white men.
Oh.
Not they white men. Completely different. Everybody understands that.
Do they?
I don't know.
See, now you did this to Chris. Did that to himself, and
He
now
did.
you did this to Chris.
Yeah.
So it didn't take long for this to even out.
Well, I beat Chris to the parking lot today. And
Pulled in at the same
This is
time.
great. This is
Actually,
great. I'm
and
glad
I
you brought this
pulled
up.
in. Yeah. How is it that I was in the office 5 minutes before you then?
you weren't. You were in the office 2 minutes before I was. And it actually may have been another minute because I had to wait on the elevator. By the way, thank you for sending it back down.
What are you doing in that car for so long?
I'm
We
listening.
pulled
I'm
in.
finishing up listening to my NPR. They had a nice discussion on kale nachos, and I was
That's
like,
not
"Well, I
true.
can't walk away from that." I had to listen to what that's all about. So that's why I didn't immediately get out of my car. Sorry.
What are the chips made out of in the kale nacho?
They are made out of spare parts from the local recycling park.
What?
NPR, man. So that's what I was listening to. That's why
That
it took me
doesn't.
so long.
No, when you go
That's what it-
NPR, man, that doesn't
It's
end the
NPR.
conversation.
I'm sorry.
NPR,
Do you listen
man.
to NPR, man?
That's like trying to do your research.
Thank you.
That's your do your research.
Yes, it is.
NPR, man.
NPR, man.
You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't.
I mean, I would just think that they wouldn't be regular tortilla chips, is all I was saying, Travis. You didn't have to say they came from some recycling park and make something up.
No, look, it's the folks on NPR. You have to talk to them about your concerns.
So I figured it would be a different type of chip.
Possibly. I didn't
Like
get a chance
maybe
to-
it's like a pita tortilla of some sort. I don't know.
I was going to get to the bottom of it, but I had to do the show. So I couldn't hear what they said at the end, so I'm not sure. That's why I was in my car a little bit longer, Chris. Excuse me for wanting to educate myself. What was Marin talking about last night?
Why would you educate yourself with something like that when we know damn well you're not going to eat anything like that?
What, it's just,
half a nacho sub.
thank you. Portion control.
Portion control.
Portion control. You're welcome.
Portion control.
Sorry, I'm a dietitian against diets.
Yeah.
It's almost as if I would listen to a podcast if it was called that.
That's getting announced on Fox 2 like in an hour.
See?
So keep an eye out for a new podcast.
I just said-
being announced on Fox 2 shortly.
I just said you wouldn't eat that because I saw you with your portion control yesterday as you're involved in this weight loss competition. Where your portion control was, you had a smaller bag of crunchy. What did you have? Cheetos
Yes.
and a smaller bag of nacho cheese Doritos.
I had to get my dairy, had to get my protein,
Okay.
and I needed to get my seasoning.
See, I just don't understand why you would educate yourself and then not use it.
Education is a mental evolution. So over time, I will become
NPR,
smarter.
man. NPR, man.
NPR, man.
I'm just curious how this brain
How
of
it all
yours
works
works.
out.
Yeah.
The host of Dietitian Against Diets
Yeah.
podcast, Rashonda Thornton, has commented with heart eye emojis for you bringing that up.
Oh, you're welcome.
There you go.
That's what I
It's a
call
big win for everybody.
Okay, it's all about the Midcoast Media team, right? We are a family. Look, we love each other. We hang out sometimes, not as often as we used
I
to.
like
Never,
when
actually.
Rashonda comes in and I tell her what I've eaten.
She looks
So
on with
She
great
just
concern.
stares at me. And,
So Rashonda's a dietitian.
yeah.
She has a book out. She's recording a podcast here. She's done a TEDx talk. It's a big deal. Always on Fox 2. She's kicking ass and everything. And she has made the grave decision to work with us here and produce her podcast out of the studio. So she's kind of known for being very relaxed. And that's why people like her. She's like, here's what you should do. So
Smooth. She's
yeah,
smooth.
she is. And you approach it with a horror factor.
Well, I just, I tell her, I had a bowl of cereal with some milk. Followed that up with a cinnamon roll. That cinnamon roll was pretty good, though. I mean, it tasted good. And she'll just look at me and just shake her head a little. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that look because I've seen it throughout my life.
Like your mother,
Oh, yeah.
grandmother, aunts,
It's a look of,
concerned citizens.
like, it's they know I can do better, but I choose not to do better.
But then again,
He's going to break it down.
no, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
breaking it down.
I think Travis can feel me on that.
No, I look.
Retard.
Food is good. Food is great.
I don't
And
know- I don't know what
especially
you
this
mean.
time of year, I know it's something about the holidays, being around family and friends. You want to cook more. You want to experiment with different types of foods, different kinds. And what do you want? What do you want people to do, man? It's not an easy battle. It's not supposed to be easy, but she does an amazing job breaking it down for us idiots who are attempting to do better as far as not completely eating Tupperware and whatever we find on the ground as part of our diet. So I look forward to listening to her podcast. Read her
I don't
book
do
as
that.
well, please, because it's some great information in there. And for people like myself who need small victories in the road to trying to lose all of this, she certainly can provide that for you. So I'm still encouraged. I know there is one individual part of the competition that no longer wants to participate with the rest of us, which is understandable. He has his own speed. He does his own thing now. He doesn't care to be a part of the group. But, I pray for him every night before I go to bed and I ask the Lord to help him during his part of the competition.
You pray before you go to bed?
Of course.
To who?
To my higher power. And I do so. And
What does your higher power look like?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
You know, when I was a kid, did you ever, like, as a kid, have like a picture of God in your mind, a visualization?
I think so, yeah.
And like mine, it was like one of two actors.
Who was it?
It was either George Papard, who was Hannibal in the A-Team,
Okay.
Or-
That would make sense.
or John Forsythe, who was like Blake Carrington on Dynasty.
Huh. Very,
So those are,
very
like, the two-
influential, powerful white men.
Yeah. That's it. Like as a kid, I'm like, that's how I used to think. That's how I envisioned God looking like. Was like John Forsythe or George Papard.
I always thought Keith David was
Keith Da-
God
okay.
in my. I was like, if
All
there
right.
was a God, like listening to his voice, and when you see him, not a lot of people's intimidating voice match their intimidating presence, but he has them both. And when you see him, you're like, oh man, he's gotta be
'Cause
God,
did-
right? That's God.
Did
right?
everyone have that? Did everyone have like a picture, like a visualization?
I think
would
from,
as
like-
a kid you would.
Yeah, I think like from maybe 6 to 9, 6 to 10, I had this idea of what.
Yeah.
Then you go to church, your parents sort of put context clues together for you listening to the sermon. You kind of pick up things on your own. Because my family, we didn't necessarily come home and talk in depth about it. But in my head as a 6, 7-year-old, I was probably thinking, a burly guy, probably has, great hair, decent looking beard, older black man, probably Keith David.
So you did think he was black?
Yeah, no doubt
Okay.
about it. It's just he just had that.
No doubt about
There's
it.
just no doubt about it. Just the way. I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know why I thought God would look like George Papard.
Mine would most closely resemble like whenever they have God on The Simpsons. You just see like a giant leg, and a
legs,
foot, and then you hear him bellowing
beard
down.
from the that
well,
makes
no,
sense.
I don't think they ever
Voice
show his
that would
face, do
curve.
They
they?
even show. Maybe I'm thinking Family Guy where they show the beard. They don't show his face, but you
Yeah,
see the
because I
beard.
was wondering, do people have more of a Zeus-like, visualization?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
I'm sure there's some that do. But mine wasn't that. Mine was George Papard or John Forsythe.
No.
My mom used to watch Dynasty all the time, and I would sit and watch it with her.
That
That's
makes
how
sense.
that's how I watched
That
General
makes sense.
Hospital too.
Wait.
Became a big Jack Wagner fan.
Makes sense.
I was going to ask you about that.
Frisco Jones, him and Felicia. Then they split up because he was a prisoner in another country, and she
Right.
was getting remarried, and then he showed up at the last second. I remember that as a child.
Huh.
The Black Sheep says this is malarkey, and Joe specifically said there would be none of that.
He did specifically
No
say that.
malarkey.
I thought that meant specifically for the state of Iowa, not us.
Uh-huh.
They get the no malarkey because it's their tour. It's like a 19-county tour.
I gotta
by the
tell
way.
you,
It
I
just
would
sounds
enjoy the
awful.
No Malarkey bus tour coming through Missouri.
That would be pretty dope. Who's
I
not
would-
taking a picture in front of the no malarkey van?
I mean, just for entertainment,
Come on, right?
I would enjoy that.
I hope he gets a no malarkey plane. I hope he does well enough where his fundraising is to the point where he can get a no malarkey plane. That'd be dope.
No Malarkey.
No malarkey.
The
He's
great.
got to poop out the window.
Oh,
What?
why?
Said no malarkey.
Why would you poop out the window?
Because you can't have it on the plane. It's no malarkey. You can't poop on the plane of no malarkey. You gotta poop out the window so it doesn't stay on the plane. That's why it's called no malarkey.
Do you know what Malarkey
Yeah,
means?
malarkey is shit, right?
like nonsense.
Yeah, shit.
I can see a line to be drawn
Thank
in
you.
your head.
Thank you.
I can
So do
see.
you- do
I
you
can see
think-
a path in that swamp
do
that
you
is your brain.
Do you see like the bus saying like no shit?
Yeah.
No, but wouldn't that be like no shit?
Well, it
I mean, when you
depends.
use no shit like that, it's like
Mm-hmm.
someone tells you something obvious.
Oh, I was thinking in Joe Biden's terms. No shit.
Okay,
Because I'm not going to take no shit.
but I think technically the definition is like nonsense.
Okay, my apologies.
So unless you start calling your number twos or your BMs not, hey, I took a nonsense.
I did.
Dropped a malarkey.
Dropped the malarkey. Look, I just told you that I thought Keith David was God.
Hey, there's
Excuse
the-
me.
The toilet's clogged. There's a lot of malarkey in it.
Sounds better than shit now, doesn't it?
So that's where we're at. Okay, I'm glad we could cover that.
Covered a lot already.
We
We
have.
certainly have. Real quick, I'll tell everybody about our friends at St. Louis Counseling Services. They support us, so you support them. If you're in need of counseling in the St. Louis area, you go there. stlouiscounseling.org is the website. You can see all their capabilities. If you're looking for a counselor, if you're looking to get counseling for someone, they can help you. And check out the podcast, Mental Health Matters, also available on the website. Gardner, you had a Nick Cage poll yesterday on twitter.com.
Yeah, we got a couple of melees here.
We do.
I had a Nick Cage related one, and it stemmed from our conversation with comedian Angela Smith yesterday. We had a lot of talk about Hallmark movies.
Oh,
She's an expert.
Yeah.
She is.
She is an expert.
And we discovered that she was an anti-feminist as well.
Yes, that's how we came
See
up
that
with
on
the
the YouTube
phrase
channel.
Hallmark feminist.
Mhm.
Yes, I think
Just
that
another
was
Hallmark feminist.
it's fun to yell.
It really is.
Yeah.
So we were talking in the office yesterday, and it led us to a poll question, of which was, which of these Nicolas Cage films would you most like to see remade as a Hallmark-style Christmas movie?
Okay.
It was Con Air. Actually, just let me bring it up. Con Air, Gone in 60 Seconds, Face Off, and The Rock were your options.
Which of these Nicolas Cage films would you most like to see remade as a Hallmark-style Christmas movie? And the winner appears to be Face Off.
Barely edging out Con Air.
34%. Con Air at 32%. The Rock at 17%. And 16% for Gone in 60 Seconds.
I'm not
trying
mad
to
about this.
I'm not mad about any of the results. Yeah, I think any of those movies would have been a really fun Hallmark-style,
Yeah.
Christmas-style remake.
Just to kind of give you a feel for it, I made this for you.
Is that the look you're going for?
He's trying to get home to his daughter
Uh-huh.
after being away for some years, but he's going to have to fight for his freedom to do so.
Uh-huh.
Nicolas Cage this Christmas in Con Air.
Con Air, Home for the Holidays.
Home for the holidays.
Yes.
So just what it might look like. I thought I'd put a little picture together for y'all.
That's such a delightful film. I will watch the hell out of that.
Yeah, I
Does
don't.
Dave Chappelle's character still die and fall from the plane?
He falls into a chimney,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
and voila, Christmas.
Falls into a chimney. Okay, that works.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Do some really nice editing there.
I do like the idea of John Travolta and Nicolas Cage in a Hallmark film together,
It's true. Yeah.
with Face Off winning that poll.
That would be.
What happens? Does one play Santa and he does a face off with the Grinch?
It's
What-
kind of like
Yeah.
what your life would be like. It's got like you have to have the Nick Cage characters, or the John Travolta characters. The guy's like, I've enjoyed Christmas too much with my family. I just can't be around them anymore. I wish I was someone else, and so that's why he
Oh,
decides to
okay.
change face.
It's like
And
a
then he-
vice versa
yeah,
kind of with.
yeah. And then he realizes, oh my God, I don't like this face I am because I miss my family. I don't know why I'm John Travolta talking like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
But,
But that's a Face Off.
but
You
that
don't.
is
It's
the
hard to
Face
remember.
Off.
Who's,
That's the
yeah.
thing. Thank you,
Yeah.
Gardner.
It's hard to remember who's who in
That's
that
true. Very true.
whole situation.
That
Very tough
definitely
to follow
makes
the
sense.
narrative. Very tough.
Are you any surprises? It looked. I mean, you voted for the one that won.
Yeah, I voted for Face Off just because I thought I was intrigued by the Travolta aspect in it. Now, if you go to The Rock, even you're like, oh, Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, in a
Delightful.
Hallmark movie. I don't know if Connery plays on the Hallmark channel or not.
Hmm.
So maybe you recast
his
that
redemption.
in some way. Yeah. Gone in 60 Seconds. That could be interesting.
That would be fun.
That could be very interesting.
High-speed sleigh rides. You got to steal different types of models of sleighs in order for you to
Yeah, that'd be good.
launch on Christmas Day, so you can make sure every child has a toy.
Uh-huh.
Unless the joy could be gone in 60 seconds.
Oh. Use the title of the movie.
You got to squeeze it into a Hallmark Christmas film.
Okay.
right?
No, the thing is, like, how do you, like, Lacey Chabert has to be involved or
She
something,
will
right?
be involved.
It seems like you have to have somebody British as well
That's
involved.
a given. That's a given. And one of them they must have been a cast member on any of the late 90 Fox shows.
Okay.
So that's almost a given too. Good for Lacey, by the way. I've always thought, like, even what was it, Mean Girls, where she kind of blew up? Was it something before that? Was there a role she had before Mean Girls where she was a big star, or a very, very attractive woman? And either way, when she showed up on the scene, I was like, man, that's a gorgeous woman. She should probably be acting forever and ever. She's got the looks. I don't know if it turned out that way, but it's good to see that she has consistent work with Hallmark. I'd imagine that's a good paycheck.
Well,
yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not judging it.
I'm
Yeah,
curious. Like,
I
I'm curious how
probably did
other.
something.
I'm just curious how other Hollywood actors, like C, B, A-listers, how they feel about people who participate in the Hallmark film. I mean, job is a job at the end of the day. If somebody told me, Travis, can you write a Hallmark Christmas movie, I'd probably jump on that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess, work is work. I just always thought for her, being as attractive as she was, she would be in almost everything.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's consistent work too.
Yeah, that's true.
We've seen how this goes.
Yeah, every year,
they're
you know,
remaking a different one.
Yeah, that's true.
Just,
The Royal Christmas or the Christmas Crown.
what do you play? I play the same thing in every movie. I'm a commoner.
A commoner. Perfecto.
Yeah, you've been typecast as a commoner in Hallmark Christmas movies.
But then it's like, how do you think someone who is also an actor and they essentially grind it out and they make their way to Broadway or near Broadway and they're a theater actor or stage
Yeah.
actor making probably less money
Right.
than the Hallmark people, but the soul and the spirit
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Well,
how would that conversation go between a Hallmark actor and a theater actor? Maybe at one time they were even
I
in the
need
same
one.
place.
I need one that can do theater in my book, and who's done television, and who, I mean, just stole the show in the movie The Substitute 2.
Okay.
Treat Williams. I
Treat
need
Williams.
Treat
Okay,
Williams
that makes
involved in
sense.
this
Alright.
my Hallmark movie.
Uh-huh.
So if we're doing Face Off, I also need Treat Williams in this movie. He is fantastic.
Makes sense.
Your thesis does not hold up to empirical research.
Oh, boy.
Is his money line
That's
in The Substitute
may
2.
explain why we haven't seen Treat in many, many decades.
You have seen Treat.
Where was
It
last
was
time
on
we saw it?
Everwood.
What's Everwood?
I was going
It
to
was
ask
a
you the same
CW
thing.
show.
Oh, boy.
It's in 2004.
He's a Renaissance man.
Oh,
Look
gosh.
up Treat Williams.
That's
He
what
is
we-
a Renaissance
You
man.
can do a little bit of everything, huh?
Yeah.
People are clamoring for more Treat Williams material, are they?
Well, they should be.
Okay. Hey,
That's what I'm
to
telling
each his
you.
own.
You can have to each their
But no,
own,
it
but I
makes
can also
sense.
tell you your own is wrong.
I know, but that makes sense. Someone at a studio had to say, you know what? There seems to be a desire for more Treat Williams material. Why not put him in The Substitute too? Someone was thinking like you. Someone higher up, probably making a lot of money,
I believe he
said
was in
Treat
The
Williams.
Substitute 3 as well.
Said, look, we're going to continue this franchise. To hell with you. Was it Behringer?
Tom
originally?
Berenger
Okay.
originally was in it.
To hell with you,
I remember
Behringer.
that one.
Treat Williams is going to carry this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that guy's probably working at Waffle House now, but at one point, that executive said to himself
He does theater stuff.
and others, Treat Williams?
Yes.
Does he even do the Muni?
He hasn't
Treat
done-
Williams
no,
do
he's
this?
done like stuff on Broadway.
When was the last time you saw Treat Williams on Broadway?
I've never been to see a Broadway show.
And maybe you don't love Treat
I
Williams
hate
as
to
much as you
interrupt.
I'm
think.
telling you what his resume
I hate
is.
to interrupt the Treat Williams talk, but we have a very serious question from the Fancy Four.
Don't interrupt Treat Williams talk. It's disrespectful. Go ahead with your
Can
question.
John Travolta be celebrating Christmas and Nick Cage be celebrating Hanukkah?
Oh,
That's fun.
that is fun. You know how embarrassing that would be if you went to a house and you're celebrating Hanukkah?
It's the wrong thing. You don't know the traditions.
Oh, right.
Ah,
Yeah.
guess you could-
Hilarity ensues.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that
Don't
would
eat
be-
that gingerbread. We Jewish.
What?
I don't know how it works.
Gingerbread?
Gingerbread, like the gingerbread cookie.
Matzah?
I don't know.
My
what
friend
we-
was making gingerbread cookies the other day.
Of course, please don't
Why
tell
do we
me.
do this? Gardner has fully embraced the.
Mr. Bojangles is making gingerbread cookies.
I think you're becoming Sean slowly by the
Yeah.
day.
Oh, yeah.
You're morphing into Sean. I think by osmosis, you two are becoming one.
We were hanging out yesterday.
Yeah, I bet. I can tell.
I was showing him clips of the show. He wanted to see what the show looked like.
That's fair because
He's like, "Can I get this on my tablet?" I go, "Yeah, but your internet has to be working." He's like, "I can't ever get the internet working." So I'm trying to get him
tell him to go to the bathroom.
to be able to see some of the work he's done.
Okay, that's
But I
good.
showed him some clips from the show. He was in tears laughing when I showed him Tommy Mosslander's Make-A-Wish montage.
Oh, no.
And
We
when-
need to get that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we do.
it is
Yeah.
up there.
Oh,
is it?
nice.
Okay,
Have you
good,
seen the
good.
page, man? Looks sexy, bro.
I
He's got like
I
content.
go to it
I showed
every
him-
single day.
Travis farting on the air.
No.
That was funny.
That's on there.
Oh, yeah.
That made the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have just showed him the straight video that I have saved.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
put if it's
That
not
needs
up
to be
there,
on
I'll
there.
put it up there today.
We need to
Yeah.
get some To Be Honest up there, too. I need to do that. Real quick, we've update for Jewish stuff.
Is this from Yale?
The great Yale Hollander, who you can catch tonight at Happiest Hour. That's not how it works. We'll eat anything. Just make sure the gingerbread men are circumcised.
Mm.
There you have it. I will, however, invite you to the show tonight. Travis, you'll be there. Question mark.
Happiest hour.
Question mark. You'll be
Medco's
there.
comedy series at Sophie's.
Travis,
Please
you'll
come
be
out
there. Question
today.
mark.
Look, they have great drink specials. We got
gonna be
people
there?
coming from out of town.
We
Keenwood.
got St. Louis Magazine there. You're
St.
gonna be
Louis
there.
Magazine's going to be present. You got Yale on the bid. You got Angela Smith.
You'll be there.
And we have so many of St. Louis's finest who will be joining us as well at Happiest Hour.
No.
The happy hour begins at 4, Chris. The show, 6 o'clock.
Food's going to kick off in the 5 o'clock hour. We got Buzz bringing it. You can get food for $1 to $5. Super
Buzz
excited about
Hawaiian Grill.
Come out.
Share to vote.
that. Come out. Be hungry. Enjoy yourselves. Have some Jack
You're
Daniels specials. Enjoy
like
the
literally
Schlafly
an
specials.
You put it on the
Yeah.
screen. I will read it. Put it on the screen. I'm going to read it.
It's
Stop
one
it.
of those things, man. Come out, have some Buzz Hawaiian Grill. Enjoy comedy. This is a big deal. We got St. Louis Magazine coming out, so if you guys have time, pop in, show some support. We're going to have Yale Hollander, our friend Angela Smith, who was on yesterday, JC Sabala, and Akeem Woods, who is in from Los Angeles. We're very excited about that and very excited about next week's Christmas sweater show as well, so that'll be fun. We had another poll to get to, Gardner. This is a hot one, thanks to one guy being a part of it.
You got the character bump.
Yeah, we did. We got a little character bump. This is a very serious question that I thought of while driving from meeting to meeting in traffic. I'm sitting at a stoplight, and I thought, you know what? I have a question that St. Louis needs to be asked. Gardner, what was that question?
It doesn't involve Treat Williams, but here it is. Who wins a race from the zoo to the arch? Becky, Queen of Carpets, or a Battle Hawk?
A Battle Hawk. So take that as you will.
Now, at last check, it
Yeah,
was
this is a hot one.
54% Becky, Queen of Carpets, 46% a Battle Hawk. So within 8% right now is a Battle Hawk, but Becky, Queen of Carpets, currently leading. And I will actually try to see if I can get an update on that poll as well, to get the most up-to-date results. Let's see if they're
We'll keep
kind-
that. That's a hot one. We'll keep putting. Yeah, Randy
it's-
Carricker got involved, so that meant half of St. Louis did.
55 to 45 right now. Becky,
Oh,
Queen
boy.
of Carpets.
Becky,
Yeah,
Queen of
that's a
Carpets.
tough
Maybe
one.
They should have renamed the XFL team her.
Yeah, XFL, the Battlehawks should retweet it themselves. see if they can get some support. Stacy Static's producer and beloved member of the Midcoast team, Ed
Yeah.
Johnston, has a birthday today. And,
Oh.
And wanted to give him a shout out. So happy birthday, Ed.
Happy birthday, Ed.
Best
Happy
looking
birthday.
53-year-old I've ever met.
We have some fun conversations.
Ed's a military guy. Ed's a really good person. And you.
You don't really seem that enthused.
No,
about
I
it.
think Ed's a
'Cause I
really
think-
cool person.
I
like
think he's reflecting about Ed and then himself at the same
Oh,
time.
like
Oh yeah, I
comparing-
mean, I
yeah.
just think Ed's just a very good, really
Talented
good
guy.
very nice guy, and like,
Filmmaker.
filmmaker, very passion for life, two adorable
Probably
children.
an international filmmaker.
I would think so. They've seen it in Canada.
His kid genuinely believes that Gardner is Santa Claus, and that is the most adorable
A
thing
little
on
worried
earth.
about that.
Because
And
eventually
he's so sweet. His kids are so sweet and
his
so
son
delightful.
came over to me. He was scared at first.
He was.
As you should
Because I
be.
was just going, ho, ho,
I
ho,
was like, hold on, man. Santa,
oh.
you wilding right now, dog.
And
But you do have Doritos.
about 30 minutes after our initial interaction with me being Santa Claus, he was sneaking his way over to me and finally just came up to me and gave me a hug.
Come on now.
Sweetly gave me a hug.
Because he looks like that's so sweet. The innocence of children.
I had Benfred call me and ask me if I could get my dad's Santa suit to use and come over to his house for his niece. And Benfred wanted me to play Santa Claus at his house.
It's a weird way to just ask you to hang out.
And then I was thinking, man, this really could, my family, we could be a legacy of like mall Santas.
It's not really a legacy.
We could be a
It feels
legacy
more
family.
Like forced.
It's the Gardner family. Oh yeah, they're mall Santas. They're the mall Santa family. We could be that group.
That would be pretty dope.
Documentary on us.
That would be adorable.
My dad bought his own Santa outfit now.
He should.
He
'cause
bought it before this. He bought a
it's
new
got
one.
that luxurious look.
So he's got his own. Just got a garment bag for it, and he's going around O'Fallon and Wentzville playing Santa Claus all around during this
That's
season.
so cool.
So I have to see if he's got a opening in his schedule where I could borrow it and head out to Benfred's and play Santa.
What about Thursday next week? We're doing the Christmas sweater comedy show. Would you want to be available to take pictures with the
Oh, kids would
with the
like
people
that.
coming
Adults
in?
would like
Well,
that.
Let's not invite the kids.
I like invite kids to a happy hour. It's called happy hour.
I mean, I'd
Yeah,
have
got
to check
milk.
with
Kids do
my
bring-
dad.
They love happy.
I have to see my dad's Santa schedule. This is a busy time of year for a legacy family
I
like us.
sure would hope so.
For a
That'd be
legacy
really-
mall
yeah.
Santa family.
Right. That
Hey,
makes
it's
sense.
something. I'm trying to find something for us to be.
Always clinging to something, and I'm okay with that. I'm not
Legacy
upset.
mall Santas. It's something.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go to Twitter and vote Becky or Battlehawk. There you go.
I
That's
take
how this all
I take Becky.
gets through. Yeah.
No, actually, I took a Battlehawk.
There were some good questions asked. Is this Becky pre-weight loss?
Oh.
Does that matter? Does the carpet? Does she have a bigger? Is it a? I asked. Is it a Bowser or Princess situation on Mario Kart? They both have their pluses, right?
True.
Well, it's also too. You got to think.
And what's a Battlehawk?
I don't know how a magic carpet would fly
Great question. I've never seen one in real
because,
life.
like, think like a bobsled. There are weight restrictions, like on a bobsled, like you
because it
can't
could go faster with more weight.
with more weight. So I don't know how that works with a magic carpet. Does that
do you
impact it?
Do you know?
I mean, it depends on the kind of carpet it is, where it's
Turkish,
from.
Turkish.
Is it Turkish? Okay, well, then I don't know. Then you talk about draft. You talk about what time of day are they racing from the zoo to the arch. There are a lot of important
Is there
factors
air
that we have to
traffic?
consider.
Is Southwest having a big afternoon?
Plus, how is an animal, how is a magic carpet impacted by the electromagnetic field projected by the arch?
So true. These are questions that we need answers for before we.
So
can
it's
actually get to the bottom
hard
of it.
to. I mean, there's a lot of factors. There's probably some uncertainty. There's just things we're not thinking of
point.
What
that
kind
will
of
impact
takeoff?
that.
What kind of takeoff is a Battlehawk have? I mean, if it's a
probably
bird,
quicker.
Is it a bird or is it a chopper?
But then we also got to take into the experience of the pilot. Becky has been around carpets her entire life.
She can float that thing between the arch,
And,
which
you
is
know.
probably illegal by federal standards.
One would think the FAA would have an issue with it. However,
Somebody
Becky
died
does.
trying to land on it once.
Mm.
Slid down the side.
Oh, we didn't. St. Louis's air guard didn't shoot him down.
Oh, a guy parachuted to the top, actually made the landing, and then it chute took, and then he slid down the side of the leg.
Stop it. Did they explain
This was
his?
in the 80s, I think.
Yeah, that was big. Boxing, a lot of pay-per-view boxing got ruined with those kind of
Travis.
people.
I made it! I did it! Whoa. Whoa.
God.
At least for 15 seconds, it was the coolest slide in the world.
Yeah. That's a,
Was that
that's
the
a slow
point?
death, too.
Was that person?
Because
Was
you
that,
know you got no shot.
was that
You're like,
person
hey,
trying to-
catch.
was that person trying to land
Yeah.
on the arch?
Yeah.
Or in between the arch?
On the arch, I think.
That
Think-
what they wanted to land on the arch, and then what? No rope ladder.
I'd have to go back and look at the story. You can find the story archived online.
And this was the 80s?
I think it was the 80s.
We gotta look, man. We were that dumbass town that thought a fucking earthquake was gonna happen on December 2nd and 3rd because a man with no scientific evidence said
That was
so.
the 90s, though.
So it's very. Look, at that point, and it was the 80s. If we're thinking about it, we're being in a historical context. A lot of people weren't thinking in the 80s. We just went into doing things. We did not know how we were going to
I
land in
think
the 80s.
80s was when I saw the circus performer fall as well at Busch Stadium.
Oh no.
Break both his legs.
Mm.
It was the same circus my brother threw up.
You ready?
That little on the person in front. Yeah.
Explain. What is this thought?
Man.
I think the person was from this area, like Overland, Olivet. or
I
something.
apologize if any other
Oh,
family
no.
members are listening or watching the show. Then I am so sorry.
This is tough.
What? Oh
A
God.
man who tried. Okay, so this is a man who tried to parachute. This is from UPI archives.
Uh-huh.
Fell
have a
more
year?
than 600 feet to his death Saturday, and his wife filmed the attempt.
That's right. It's like having the Grizzly
Kenneth-
Man tapes.
Kenneth Swires, 33, Overland, Missouri, parachuted from a private plane shortly before 9 a.m. and tried to land on top of the 630-foot arch, Mississippi riverfront, police said. Witness told police Swires landed on the north leg of the stainless steel structure where a gust of wind apparently made him begin sliding downward. Witnesses said Swires' parachute collapsed and what appeared to be a backup chute failed to open. Pronounced dead at City Hospital. Wife was right there at it. He's been a parachutist for 6 years. This is from November 22nd, 1980.
Okay. And again, this is tragic, very sad. But to Chris's point, when he landed on the arch,
I give him
what
credit
was your
for
next play?
I give him credit for making it to the leg of the arch.
I'm about to say that you have to be incredibly accurate. You have to be in order to nail that. That space can't be wider than this table, right?
That's pretty good.
That's impressive. I give you that,
that's
sir.
gotta be-
However, I still don't think we have an answer to Chris's
Now,
very
I
important
do know
question.
it's-
Once
But
you
he-
landed, what was your end game?
If he had a backup chute, he was just gonna jump on down again.
Jump off from there, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the likelihood of you being able, we know, like at those heights, how high the wind is, no matter whether or not it's a windy day.
Yeah.
So the likelihood of him not only landing on that spot long enough to then get set and then jump off of that for your backup shoot, which I would imagine still would have been
It's still
a
difficult.
very close. You're cutting that close as well. I don't know if
You're
this individual thought.
634 feet up at the top of the arch. It's as tall as it is wide.
Yeah, I don't. And then to the other point, like, I don't know. This just seems like he did not think this all the way through. He seemed like,
Well, that's right. The backup chute seems like that was the way.
That was his plan.
It was the land, celebrate for a moment, jump back off.
Get arrested.
Yeah, then you're done. That seems like it. To me, it is impressive that you're actually able to land.
from a private plane
Yeah.
on the leg of the arch, and then
Hope
then
that
you-
pilot got a deposit.
I mean, what is the wife thinking as she's still filming them?
Oh, that's terrible.
Because all I want to know is, like, did she keep filming even as he's sliding?
it's a good question.
Yeah.
Or did you just, does your instinct say to keep filming this and documenting it?
Maybe in our head. she
Or
was
does
like-
your instinct put the camera down at that point and be like, oh my God?
Well, I would imagine your instincts just you drop and scream.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but if she's filming all the way through,
That's what I would like to know.
then we know what that marriage was all about. Oh wow, his second parachute didn't open. Oh, that's crazy. I can't
Oh.
believe that
How did that
How
happen?
that happened? That's crazy.
She's still filming.
What? Oh no! It looks like his second parachute. Oh boy!
I'm gonna watch
They got
this
him
later.
filming this
Over
as an
and over and
alibi.
over. Was there a life insurance policy taken out?
What's she doing these days?
The
Find out what
police-
the wife is doing these days.
The police reported that for some reason there was the orange-handled scissors were at the scene of the crime.
Mm.
No clue
Mm.
what cut the parachute.
Mm.
So rest in peace. He'll be missed.
Overland, you said, right?
Overland.
Overland,
Yeah,
Missouri.
I
Good,
did- I
good
thought it-
memory. Yeah.
I remember reading about it. I just can't remember all the details.
There's been.
What if the tape still exists?
Yeah. Have there been times where you guys thought it was over and you're like, oh, this is how it goes?
Oh God, no, man! Relax.
No, like on a roller coaster or something, it kind of clanks a little. And
Oh,
like, man.
no, I haven't had that one yet. But I mean, when we went to Honduras, I was almost
Oh,
certain
that
we were
would've
going to be
pretty.
pretty. Oh, we were in the helicopter. I was like, "Yep, this is
There was
it."
a night I was driving drunk where it probably should have been over.
Oh boy,
Uh-huh.
interesting.
I think back to it every once in a while.
Interesting.
Fell asleep at the wheel,
Oof.
Oh,
driving
yeah.
drunk,
that would have been bad for everybody involved.
and the foot was going on the gas pedal,
Oh boy.
and I awoke with the car veering off the highway onto where
Jesus.
almost going
Gardner.
into the side of a bridge.
Oh boy.
Oh boy,
I was
Gardner.
going about 85 at
Oh
the time.
goodness, guards.
Yeah.
Glad you're still here.
Then there was a time when I was like 5 or so.
Oh boy.
Thought I was going to fall off the Rocky Mountains.
Oh boy.
Trying to get a calculator off this little ledge.
What?
I had wandered off by myself.
Of course.
I think we were actually on our way to Pikes Peak or something like that. And I saw on this little ledge a calculator, and I'm like, why the hell is a calculator on the ledge of a mountain?
Mm.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to get it. But then it was like, it was angled down, so I'm like, oh, I can't just stand on this thing. So I kind of got on my butt and wiggled a little and grabbed the calculator, and I had my feet like kind of 1 foot on the edge there. And as I pushed to go back up, kind of backwards,
Mhm.
my foot slipped. And then I slid down.
Jesus, Gardner.
And I just froze for a second and then looked out over and then just kind of backed up. And like my mom knew something was wrong, but I didn't tell her what happened right away because I guess because I was kind of a little shook by the whole situation.
Right.
That she was like, and then finally it got on, but it was hard for me to kind of go back and talk right away.
Yeah.
It scared me.
Yeah.
There was another incident where I almost had an issue on a mountain. My brother.
Stay the fuck off mountains.
Yeah.
Well, I had
that's a
just
good
turned
point.
21.
No, God, man.
And I was at a microbrew festival in Keystone, Colorado, and so I had a few beers.
So
and
you've
then-
had several run-ins with death. Is that where we're?
yeah, and some of them use alcohol, obviously.
Well,
That's why I
okay.
don't drink anymore.
This is why we celebrate
Um,
your soberness every chance we get.
And then my brother and I were mountain biking, and I got tired of mountain biking on the trails because I was constantly looking over my shoulder for bears. And so I go, let's just get down the mountain. So we took like the emergency path that just zigzags. It's gravel basically. It's for the emergency vehicles and stuff like that. And so my brother there's a little ramp in this one area, and my brother does it, and I'm like, oh, I'll do it.
Oh no, Gardner.
And so, but it's as you're coming up to an edge area where there's actually fencing to
Oh,
keep you
no.
from going
Going over, yeah.
And so I did it and had a little in me, and I hit the wrong brake.
Oh, no,
And when
no.
I started fishtailing.
Oh no.
So I let off the brake to try and regain control, and I was coming up closer and closer without braking to this fencing area. So I just had to lay the bike down. I just took the mountain bike and laid it onto the gravel, cut my leg up. So there was that.
Mine's a little bit
'Cause
more.
I was afraid I would go over the fencing.
You
if
didn't
I-
want to do that, or lay it on top of the fence.
Well,
which
I was
would've really
like,
sucked.
ideally, I would have went into the fencing,
Okay.
but I wasn't confident that would happen.
That's fair.
So I decided just to lay the bike down and then slid like off the gravel into the grass a little.
I don't think what I experienced, I thought it was a wrap, but it was probably one of the scariest moments, certainly from my childhood, when I was caught up in the middle of crossfire between two rival gangs in the area.
What?
Got off the school bus, we're on our way walking home, and
The board game from the
No,
90s?
not the damn board game, and no, not
Crossfire!
the former talk show on CNN as well.
Okay. Just,
Is that the
okay.
one that had Tucker Carlson
That
on
did
it?
have Tucker Carlson on that one. So
And like Paul something?
Paul Bagala, I think.
Yeah, Bagala,
I
yeah.
think the former aide for Bill Clinton. But there was, I guess, 2 gangs. It had to be about 3 in the afternoon.
What gangs were they?
weekday.
Do you know?
I just imagine it was Bloods and the Crips, just to, your traditional, all American gangs. But getting off the school bus, me, myself, my sister, and our neighbors, and as we're walking home, gunfire just let out, and I remember just screaming to the top of my lungs. They're just screaming.
How old were you?
Had to have been maybe 6 or 7.
Okay.
6 or 7, and I screamed.
What were you screaming?
Just screaming like ah!
I'm not trying to make light of this because this is a dangerous
I think
situation.
it was about 6 or 7
But
years
it's
old.
hard for me not to smile at a frantic 6-year-old Travis Terrell.
Yeah, it was.
And when I hear that scream, I kind of smirk a little.
That
Just so you know, I'm not
no,
trying to
no,
make light of
I would have too, because look, if I heard me screaming at that age, I too would have been like, "What is going on?" But it was
I've heard you scream at your current age.
Ah!
And now I'm
Imagine
I'm
little
hearing-
Travis.
yeah.
Ah!
so
But it
the
was.
situation alone, I understand, but outside of that,
I mean, and as a kid, you when you think about gunfire, you think about the TV shows. You think,
I grew up in O'Fallon, Missouri. I didn't
Right.
think about gunfire.
right? Well, yeah, exactly. And when we were growing up, when we would hear it, it'd be off in the distance, and so you don't
Did you
know.
get that skeet? That's gunfire.
That sounds about right. You don't know necessarily how incredibly loud and startling gunfire can be as a child. So when you hear it up close, most adults would freak out from the sound of gunfire that close. So as a 6-year-old, you're just like, okay, this is incredibly loud. This sounds very close. This is not what I have seen on television. So my senses were all over the place. So all I remember is just screaming,
'Cause what you
neighbor
hear-
coming out to basically pull us into their house. Yeah, it happened so fast.
Did anyone die in this?
There was 2 men who were killed.
Jesus.
2 men were killed.
I'm so used to you okey doking us on everything. I keep waiting for a punchline, and
No punchline
I
on
can't
this one.
tell if I'm mad at myself or you for that.
No
for that, this
punchline.
is a horrific story.
Yeah, two guys were killed, and yeah, that was it.
This is when you lived in North City?
This is when I lived right off Union.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
If you
As a
have been
kid.
caught in a hail of gunfire as a child, be sure to leave a comment and let us know how it went.
That's that's growing up in the streets. Now look at me, international screenwriter.
See,
I made it.
I've never had the gunfire. But I've told the story before. I've had guns drawn whenever by police.
Are you?
No, in the middle of a Little League baseball game in Paducah, Kentucky.
Jesus.
If he steals one more sign,
There was
I ain't gonna lie,
there
like-
was a fugitive,
Oh,
a guy
no.
who broke out of jail,
Oh.
and he was I guess kind of camping out at this park where we were playing baseball. It was like the Tri-State Corey League Championship.
you're just describing Christopher Lloyd's role in Dennis the Menace.
Just getting confused.
So this guy,
Was he eating beans?
Ah,
and
good
then
one. Good
I
question.
don't know. I
Chris.
was on the
farted
field at
into
the
the fire?
time.
And so this
No,
guy had escaped.
The reason the story is because of my mom made this story something. Well, a number of things. So the guy escaped, and the police knew where he was, and they were kind of sitting back, waiting to make their move. And I guess they made their move, and we were playing in the middle of a game, and it was a fenced-in field. And the guy came running over and hopped
the
fence.
fugitive?
The fugitive hopped
What?
the fence onto our field. I was in.
Shut up!
I was in
Harrison Ford was at your baseball game.
I was in center field at the time.
No, you. Oh,
And
now I
then-
know he's lying.
No.
Now I know he's lying.
You got to know a defensive specialist when you're next to him. I couldn't hit a lick.
But you can track that ball down.
Maybe
Okay,
I can
sorry.
play defense.
So this fugitive jumps over the fence. So what is your reaction at this moment?
I don't know what's going on. I'm just like the I guess, or I don't even know if he called time. Everyone just stopped what they were doing.
Were people screaming from the stands?
Yeah, because you heard something. And because there were 2 police officers chasing. They
Oh.
they hopped the
Oh,
fence.
no.
They hopped the fence, draw the guns,
Oh no!
and they yelled to one of them yelled, "Everyone get down!" And then he's like, and
Dramatic.
so
Jesus.
I go to the ground, but I'm still kind of
Looking, of
up
course, as you
to see
should.
what's going. The guy runs like between second and center field. He wasn't close
Okay,
to me,
but still.
but he was. Here's what I didn't know until a certain thing happened. There was a Johnny on the spot out behind the fence in left field
Right.
that my mother was using at the time. And so the cops are tracking this fugitive, and they told us all to get down. So I'm getting down and kind of looking up still. And then they finally are like, freeze, 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 or whatever, yelling at the guy because he's heading to that left field fence to try and hop it. And but he ended up going. Actually, he didn't go to the left field. He went down like the third base foul line and ended up hopping over there.
Okay.
But they're yelling freeze, and all of a sudden you hear from the Johnny on the spot, my mother, what's going on? And apparently she opens the door with her pants like half up. So my mom is like, well, I'm in center field laying down on the ground because she yelled to get down. My mom's freaking
She's
out.
coming
And then
out
Johnny
of the
on
porch. Johnny on the spot. Pants damn near below her
Yeah.
ass. She's screaming. Right, where her baby? What's happening? She probably freaking out.
Yeah.
She heard cops yell freeze. I can only imagine.
That's insane.
Yeah, but the guy hops the third base foul line fence and kind of traces back. The way he got caught, he went into there's a wooded area back there that's kind of soggy, I guess. But there was an old man, like a grandfather of a player on the other team, who was a retired police officer.
Shut up.
Who got himself involved in this, and he actually went up and tackled the guy
Wow.
right in this wooded area. So there was a
That's
delay.
balls.
There was a delay in the game for like 20 minutes, and then we
That's-
resumed
and then you
because
resumed.
everyone kind of caught. We had to gather ourselves and all that, and then it carried on after
That's
that.
outstanding.
But it was I can still hear my mother's scream because I was in center field and it's just past the left field wall. I could hear the scream.
Imagine.
I could still hear it.
I was trying. Man, that's so lame.
Yes.
Like my story would be so lame. There's a prison where I grew up,
This is Paducah.
so there would
Kentucky.
be occasionally it'd be like, "Hey, prisoner out." You know, they do.
Hey, prisoner out on an occasion. How much of an occasion was this? That doesn't sound
Not
scary at
that
all.
much, but enough. I remember several times.
Damn.
But it's just, but they do the PA system over the whole town. or
Town,
whatever.
right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and maybe it wasn't as many times, but I would just be pissed because I'd be at daycare and wouldn't be able to be outside playing basketball. I'd be like, they're like, hey, we got to go in. I'm like, what? Come on. It was like, I'll keep an eye out. If I see anybody, I'll let you know. Let us stay out here. But yeah, they were the.
I'm
fugitive-
playing horse.
The fugitive was right there playing horse with the lady who goes. I told you this on the air once, right? I was like, all right, I'm Michael Jordan. Who do you want to be? To this lady. And she's like, nobody black.
Yeah.
All right, Larry Bird it is. Okay, fine. I can picture her snarled little face.
Nobody black.
Yeah.
She told you
Okay.
that?
I was like,
She said, so she said, what do you want to be?
I was like,
and she
well, Larry
followed
Bird
up,
it is.
Nobody black.
All right, Mark Price it is.
Yeah, you got Larry Bird.
Ah! She was, the fuck?
Yeah. I don't want to say her name.
Ah!
She's still saying that to this
She
day.
probably
you think?
said,
Has to be. I'll never
who
forget
you
that.
voting for?
I didn't
Nobody black.
without hesitation.
We're talking
I
about
just
the
go-
voice, man. I'm not president.
I go, hey, got you covered. Larry Bird.
Chris just he smelled the
There it is.
racism
There it
coming
is.
and
Thank
immediately
God.
knew, let me have something ready just in case she says nobody black.
Yeah.
Thank God for Larry Bird.
He saved the day.
What would he have done in the 80s? Early 90s.
Yeah, that's how it
Probably
goes.
be dead.
What would the NBA have done?
Oh jeez.
Good times all around. Guys, I'll remind you again, we have a huge show tonight. Be sure to stop by Happiest Hour, 3224 Locust, right here in the DotZac building in Grand Center. We're going to have Hawaiian food available. That's going to be good. $1 to $5 menu from Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. It's going to be a really good time. Jack Daniel specials, Schlafly specials, and 4 very funny comics. Come out, have a good time. It's free to get in. Stop by. It's on the second floor at Sophie's. And then later tonight, 8:30 p.m., Travis, Gastro Pit. We're doing another comedy show. Yale's on that bill, too. Look out on the hill. Gastro Pit, they've got great barbecue. Gardner just the noises he made when he was eating their food. So we've got 2 shows tonight. Second show's at 8:30 p.m. on the Hill. Yale's double booked on that one. Our friend Amber Clear coming by, Ricky Royal. Gonna be a fun time. Stop by. If you can't make the first one at 6 o'clock, be sure to stop by at 8:30 at Gastro Pit Gaslight over at Kings Highway in Shaw.
I know you mentioned at the top of the show, but that YouTube page, we're really investing in that now.
Oh yeah.
So we want to make sure everybody knows to go to the Midcoast Media YouTube page.
Yeah.
Here's a little sample for you of what you're going
What's
to
that?
find.
Is this all in your own doing?
Yes.
Look at you. I love it.
Yeah.
Jay
Yeah.
Farrell, Preacher Lawson, great interviews.
Recently,
Ernest
Tracy
J.
Henson. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And you
So
can-
even if you like to stream it on Facebook, just go check out the YouTube channel and enjoy some clips that you can't see anywhere else.
Robert Cullen,
subscribe.
Post's Pad.
Yeah.
Some great interviews we have.
We're
on
going to
there.
add
You
some
should check
older
it out.
ones up there too as we go
Yeah,
along.
yeah.
I'll hopefully have Lexus Zotos up there soon.
Oh, cool.
And some other ones
Yeah.
to put up there.
Those are a lot of fun.
We
Those
don't
To Be
al-
Honest videos are good too.
Gotta-
if you haven't seen them.
Got to
put
make
those
sure
up.
that farting one is on
Yeah,
there.
Travis farting whenever he was in New York.
I know I have it saved in our clip folder, but I don't know if it's on the page itself. Let's relive it. Throwback Thursday.
There it is. Before we take a break, is it more traumatic that the Black Sheep took a bottle rocket to the head than Travis's being caught in a hail of gunfire as a child?
I know Black Sheep
Tough
has
one.
stories when he's almost died. I was there half the time.
I can't tell one story involving him. I wish I could. We'll take a break. So we are live. Check out
How many
again
people say that about me?
Mid Coast Media on YouTube. That's the channel. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, Chris Denman, Travis Terrell. It's Thursday, comedy tonight. Lots going on around St. Louis. We're happy to be here. You're happy to be here. On Wednesdays, we usually do Dogs on Film. Travis, you familiar with that?
Arf, arf.
Hillside Animal Hospital. Obviously, take your pets there if you are in need of veterinary care. But Sean is the star of that. He's Gardner's friend. He may have a relationship with vodka that rivals most people's relationship with their significant other.
Yeah, pretty
but
close.
he is who he is. He's helped us. He went and did acrobat training. He's done a very, very popular dance that took Twitter by storm in his underwear. We've got a new highlight. What's going on?
I'd like to take him to the city museum and just have him take some shrooms and then go play around.
Does he do that regularly?
No, but I've been with people that have done that at the city museum before.
I feel like you could. I've never taken shrooms.
Me
so I don't-
neither.
Either have I.
Yeah.
But
They're-
I know
they're
Sean
using-
has.
They're turning them into medicine now. That's
Yeah,
what's
they do
gonna
the,
be so
the
funny.
microdosing of it.
Yeah, but if you took a lot of it, you could see a lot.
Yeah. So I'd like to. Maybe that's a little video we can make with him.
There you go.
But
Ever been to the City Museum?
recently-
Shrooms.
he was in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin.
That's right. His lovely 88-year-old father was getting married for the first time.
Did he
Or
drive there?
Most recent
Second
time.
time,
Second
yeah.
time. Excuse me.
Did he drive there?
They drove there and
Cool.
back. They drove there and back.
It's
Him
got
and
to
his
be
wife.
about a good 9-10 hours.
I don't know how far it is. I didn't even ask. They normally stay over at one place.
Oh, okay.
I think they stayed in
Probably,
Bloomington.
probably nice this time of year with the winter and
Yeah.
some of the snow. And
They had some snow up there.
okay.
Yeah. But Sean and his brothers performed at this wedding because at other weddings in their family, the dad and the cousins and that are normally
They're the
singing
ones
some
who sing,
Irish
okay.
ditty at the wedding. Sometimes it's part of the performance. Other times it's just impromptu at the bar with some beverages involved beforehand. But Sean and his brothers did a prepared one where they did an Irish ditty with some choreography. And
Oh,
I have a
wow.
little video of it. I
Okay.
just wanted to have everyone get a chance to see this. So
What's
here-
your favorite Irish song, Travis?
Whoop, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Mine's Fairy Tale of New York. If I go, well, I guess it's technically that's not.
Is that the
necessarily
song that was
Irish.
being played in Gangs of New York?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen Gangs of New
Such a
York.
good movie.
The boys of the NYPD choir still singing go. My favorite line in that song, I could have been someone. Well, so could anyone.
That's a
I
good
love
line.
that
That's a
line.
good line. That's a good
Best
line.
Christmas song there is. Best Christmas song
Okay.
in the world. But here's Sean and his brothers.
Freely up we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and on we go, all for Lassie's wedding. Over hill, ways up and down, clover green and heather brown, past the shillings through the town, all for sake of Lassie. Over hill, ways up and down, all for sake of Lassie. Plenty graceful, so tempting, that's the
Sean looks good, by the way.
Yeah.
And look at Sean's moves.
Fairest of them all by far, that's his darling Donna.
Watch him get up here. Barely got up.
Oh, there, barely off the ground.
That was just lovely.
Uh-huh.
How delightful is that? By the way, so his other brothers, are they twins?
No,
Just
just-
the look.
they just look different than
They
Sean.
just look different than Sean. Okay. Okay. Now, is Sean the oldest?
I don't know actually.
Okay.
Sean is just he's
Sean just exists.
he's different than his
Kind of
brothers.
getting to.
He's a different breed.
What I love about Sean is so genuine, yet so unusual. But he is so genuine, and because he's so genuine, he's such a treat to watch.
Yeah.
And you can tell how, like a guy like when you tell me sometimes that he was having a tough time, he was getting very nervous about what he was going to say. Like I can't envision a guy like Sean who is so in touch with himself. He knows what he is. He would be that nervous to do something like that.
He cares a lot.
But then that's why I think
He's
it's
very
so awesome. That's
compassionate.
why I love Sean, because you can tell he
That's
just
why
cares.
people gravitate
Yes.
towards him.
You can tell. You can easily tell that he's one of those people.
Because you're like, man, life can be tough sometimes, but if you're just a decent person,
Yeah.
people will gravitate towards you.
And Sean has lived experiences.
Yeah.
He has lived it. Like every time I hear a new Sean story, I go, that would be great for a personal essay. I wish that was my
You know
life.
what we did last night? It took like 5 minutes, and that was it. But I went back to something he told us during Dogs on Film once, during the chit chat portion, where he had seen he said he had been in London in the early '80s to see the Kinks play, and he had to sneak in to go there, but he almost missed the concert because he ended up going to hanging out with these Jamaican fellas at their apartment and getting high before the concert.
Then why-
He just
why
met
wouldn't-
them, and then they end up at this apartment. And so I'm like, well, where do you know where this was? Because I was I was talking to him about another group called the Shins, and I was mentioning a music venue they bring up in a song called the Corn Exchange. That's, I don't think, in London, though. And so he's like, I don't know. He's like, maybe we can find out. And I go, well, let's see if they have like a tour list. And he's like, I was there, I think, in June or July. And I'm like, okay. I go, well, here's a June performance in London.
You found it on
on
the internet.
the internet. They had like a list of where they traveled.
Okay.
And there's set lists from all these.
Okay.
It's from 1981.
Right?
And Sean's like, yeah, that's it. And I go, okay, well, he's like, I can remember what the building looks like. See if we can find a picture. And so I'm like, okay, it's the Rainbow Theater.
Okay.
And I look it up. Here's a picture. It pops up. It's actually an interesting architectural building and the street design there too. And it pops up on the screen. That's it. That's the place. So we found the theater
That's insane.
Where Sean.
that Sean saw the Kinks, and it might have been Bob Dylan too
Shut
at this
up.
show in 1981 in London. And this place shut down. When you look, it has a Wikipedia page, but it's had James Brown, it's had all these other people that Queen that have performed at it. But 1981 was the last year of the venue. It shut down on Christmas Eve in 1981, and it's now like a evangelical church or
Of
something.
course it is.
Now they were going to turn it into a bingo hall apparently initially, but it's like a landmark there now, and it's been a church since the mid 90s.
Sean is like the Irishman Forrest Gump version.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has seen and done it all, but as an Irishman. Like
Yeah,
it's very
Irish
fascinating.
heritage,
Like it's his where he falls throughout the entire timeline that is recent history.
lived in some
He
places.
just lived some places and lived some lives.
And-
And here's the funny
yeah.
thing is, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like Sean has only told you about 30% of the stories.
That's the thing. It's like
I
we
don't even think
find new
you've heard
things out.
half
You may
of
not
his
remember 'em.
stories. Like I feel like there are stories that he is going to share over time with you that he knows could incriminate you at some point. So I
Yeah.
think he's only telling you these stories now because he knows statute of limitations.
Well, what I enjoy, what this segment has done, number one, Sean does a great job with it with Dogs on Film. But it has allowed me to document some of the stories of Sean that I didn't even know about.
See, there you go.
So, and like people around us didn't know about, like, because something random will come up. I'm like, what about this? And then we're, oh, yeah, well, here's what I was doing at that time. And you're like, and then this whole story follows, and you're like, what the
You know, now you're the guy, you know, in Law and Order, you know, when the detectives need to find out more information about Sean, you're the
Yeah.
guy they're going to go to, and they're going to say,
Yeah.
look, we know he told you this story, like, so you need to
Here's
explain to
here's
us
all the Dogs
where-
on Film
Yeah,
clips. Go through
yeah,
them all.
Yeah.
So they're going to sit at the police headquarters one day, just listen to them laughing, get distracted from what they were actually doing. Because I've heard one story from Sean that I don't think he's told in Dogs on Film yet, where Sean broke his back in a car accident in Texas, and like was stuck in Texas for a couple months because he was in the hospital. Like flew out of a car, and like broke his back, and so like he had to be laid up in a hospital in Texas for a number of months.
That only happens to Sean.
Yeah, and he's still. I say he's a medical marvel. He's got
He's
a
gotta
tumor in
be.
his head that's calcified. He was farting out of his penis at one time. Had to have
remember that
surgery to
one.
correct that.
That wasn't fun.
He's got diabetes. We were wondering when he's. I mean, there's touch and go times where he's had issues with the feet.
Oh, boy.
So
Well, let's get him a Peloton. That's what we should do.
they got that exercise
They've
bike
got
in
the
there.
bike.
Yeah.
Maybe he too can lose, according to this young lady, 4 pounds in 1 year. This ad is hilarious. I was watching this with someone actually, and it was during, I think we were streaming something, or we were binging through something, and I think it was on Hulu.
Uh-huh.
And so like their commercials are 30 seconds, but they're the same commercials. And this commercial, I guess Peloton must have bought up a shit ton of airtime on, I guess, Hulu. And so this commercial would constantly come up. And every time we would watch it, I would go, okay, wait, this is a year later after purchasing the Peloton. She seems like that's like an emotional experience she looks like she's going through, but I'm not okay, to each his own. She looks the same. But I thought this to myself, and I couldn't tweet it because Daddy not on Twitter. So the person I was watching it with, we were all thinking, this is just a silly, silly commercial because it makes no sense. I didn't realize the internet had absolutely just gone after this ad.
What's the whole story
All
about
right, so this ad is a Peloton ad. It's and for those who don't know what a Peloton is, it's one of the really cool bikes that you can. They're
It's a stationary.
stationary bike, and it has
Yeah,
the TV,
yeah.
and it's got the person on it that's motivating you to, you got another mountain to climb, and
Right.
that whole thing.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand what it is.
I
But
would have
the
shown.
ad-
I would have shown the ad, but it has a popular song in it, and
Yeah.
I didn't know if it would shut us down or not.
Right.
But the ad is of this very nice-looking young lady, and it looks like she's doing a self-diary over the time of her purchase of this Peloton. And throughout the experience, it looks like a real serious emotional journey. She includes a wake up at 6 a.m., working out 5 days in a row, and concludes with a shot of her on the couch with her partner at the end of the year, watching the selfie diary together on a TV. The entire ad is set to the uplifting tune of Tal Bachman's 1999 hit, She's So High. That's a great song. She's so high. Yeah. A year
Wait, so okay.
And so she says at the end of the commercial, a year ago, I didn't realize how much this would change me. The selfie version of the woman says on TV as the seated couple watch. Thank you, she says as it concludes. Viewers felt that the woman's diary kind of looked like a cry for help or an excerpt from a dystopian film, with one person tweeting, the only way to enjoy that Peloton ad is to think of it as the first minute of an episode of Black Mirror.
Wow.
You think the guy's pissed off? He's like, do you know how much I spent on that Peloton, and your gift back to me is this stupid video?
And now we're just ridiculed throughout the world.
What
I think, like, I know they took a lot of grief, and they even Peloton put out like, sorry,
they stand by
our
it.
ad was misinterpreted
Yeah.
or whatever.
But they
Well,
really
they-
stand by
But
it.
look, it
Their
wasn't.
stock dropped too.
It
I
wasn't
guess.
directed to like a person like me.
Right.
Like, I'm not that group. Like, there might be people that want something like that.
Oh.
That is not me. Now, my issue would be like, hey, did she ask for this? If she asked for this, then yeah, okay, that
Right.
makes sense. But
Oh
was
yeah,
it?
if you
But
ever
was
dated
it?
somebody who's really into fitness stuff.
But
like,
if
that
it
is
wasn't
definitely-
asked for or anything like that, and that becomes the gift, then you're just kind of like, oh, what's this for? Because it wasn't like.
right.
It was very peculiar. Like if you like, I think if it was a,
I just don't relate. I think is the.
well, yeah, definitely. And there's a couple things. Like I think if it was simply an ad that was to the athletic person that likes getting up at 8 a.m. and working out, like that would have made more sense. But it made it look like she had to go through this journey when the woman, by all looks, at least appearances, looked just fine. And then to your point, did the partner give it to her because it's something she wanted to do? It just felt weird. But
and if that's the case, that completely
Sure.
changes the thing.
but it just feels like if you watch the commercial, it's so over the top and dramatic to the point you're just like, sweetie, it's a stationary bike. It's okay, you work out, but you're taking this as if
Seemed
it was
more like she needed St. Louis counseling than
yeah, she was crying. Like it was like, what shit is going on in your relationship?
maybe treat her better, sir.
Someone said not only was it a tad bit unrealistic, it really highlighted probably a problem with the Peloton bike because the price tag will set you back close to $2,245.
It's more than my scooter that actually takes you places.
That's hilarious.
No, I guess I'm not working out.
I love putting my Peloton bike in the most striking area of my ultra-modern $3 million home. I had a carpenter build a $9,000 finished wood riser for my Peloton bike in my glass-enclosed Zen Garden home gym. The
Yeah.
Peloton commercial would be better if at the end you found out she used to train hard every day so that the following year she could beat the shit out of her husband for buying her an exercise bike for Christmas. I have to say, this is what I miss about my Twitter.
Yeah.
This is what I miss about it.
Like I said, I was not the target audience of by any of that. Thought it was curious. I'm not outraged by it, but I thought it was curious. But once again, I don't relate to anything in that commercial at all. Not a single thing.
Overall, I'm just confused at the whole. I
Have you seen
remember
the commercial?
I'm gonna watch it after.
It's
this, but
it's
I mean,
really weird. It's very weird commercial. Like it makes sense for a stationary bike commercial, but it's just weird. I don't know how to.
well, the whole thing is
it's
just
just
like
odd.
It's not
congrats
my
to them for
lifestyle,
coming
it's
up
not-
with this crazy, stupid idea of $2,000 exercise bikes, and it works really well.
I mean, considering how much people spend on exercise equipment in general in a given year, it's not the craziest price in the world. But it's
pretty
just
crazy.
22. But I mean, considering that if people spend that much on private trainers,
There's always a thing to be said to say, hey, if the Peloton branding and classes, this is what saves you. Yeah, $2,000 plus whatever else you pay. That's a whole lot less than a heart attack. You
Very
know what
true,
I mean? Like
very
I
true.
get it. That's
Can we
fine.
can we get one and just put it in my parents' house and document them over the year, and see
What
what
clothes?
laundry ends up on
Yeah,
it?
okay.
if no one does this, if no one actually does the Peloton, we should start that. We should start the Peloton challenge, and we all do a yearly diary. And we go to the Peloton store, or we go to a friend's house where they have a Peloton. Maybe that's what it. We just
Must
go to
be
a
winter
Peloton
now.
store.
Look at what coats are hanging on there. Oh, it's
That's
summertime.
exactly what's going to
There's
happen.
swim trunks
Right.
and a beach towel.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, the winter jacket's out.
There's a lady muffled talking on the television screen over the beach towels hanging over. Where have you been?
Right.
I'm on the beach, bitch.
This is good for Peloton. This is probably the best ad. Right? They got some advertising on it. I'm sure there's going to be people like, man, they're going to make fun of it, but they probably sold a good. You would think about 200 to 300 more units just off this alone, right?
Shelly, where's my work shirt? It's on the Peloton.
Yeah. That's how that usually works out.
Where are my boots? They're on the pedals. Whatever steps, whatever the hell it is.
Right. So no Peloton for us, huh?
I don't
No,
think
it's
we're
just
getting
not
one
me.
anytime
Yeah.
soon.
Okay.
I'm about
I
that
gotcha.
scooter life.
I am curious. I just saw this from our friend Sean on Twitter. Different Sean than the Dogs on Film Sean. He said, "Why doesn't Mizzou just go ahead and hire Brock Olivo?" Are
true
we
son.
paying? Are we paying attention to any Mizzou? Is the search interesting to you, Travis? I don't know if it's something that I try not to get too caught up in it because it's just every hot name gets brought up and talked about over and over and over because nobody knows, nobody's in the room. You don't know how the search is going. Is it interesting to you?
No, it's not. I guess.
Because even who they hire's got like 3 years of work ahead of them.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the reality of it. I think the thing that whoever they bring in, and they're going to have an uphill climb as far as recruitment, probably retaining some quality recruits that Barry Odom was able to obtain during his tenure. It's going to be a massive rebuild, and right now, I mean, just to be a Missouri sports fan, at least when it comes to football and basketball, this is one of the lowest points it's been in quite some time. So I don't know. They have a lot of work to do. Jim Sturk has a lot. Like he has to hit a home run, or he has to make some serious solid contact with this next hire because they're gonna have to. They have a lot of work cut out for them, and they're light years still away from catching a Georgia. They're light years. They're starting to fall further behind the Floridas. Tennessee looks like they're getting their shit together. There's too many other teams right now in the SEC that are starting to get their houses in order. And if Mizzou doesn't get it right this go around, they can find themselves looking like the Kentuckys, the Vanderbilts of this conference, and that's the last thing you want to do.
Kentucky's better than
Well, Kentucky technically head to head, you're right, have been better than Missouri. So I think look, all you can do is just trust the guy in the room. Is Jim Sturk. They hired him for this moment, and look, he has to step up. Otherwise, he knows his job could be next as well. And as we were mentioning a little bit off the air, there seems to have been some type of conversation with some boosters and donors that essentially said, well, is it going to be Sturk or is it going to be Odom? And it looks like the boosters, the donors, chose Sturk, and they believe he's the guy that's going to be able to right the ship. So he's got to find the man for this head coach. I don't know where he's going to get it from, but they got to hit a home run.
Why can't it be a woman?
It can be a woman. Look, if there's a woman, I don't care. It
We're
could be
Hallmark feminists,
We are.
remember?
Do you want somebody like a Lane Kiffin or do you want an up and comer?
I don't want a Lane Kiffin because for Lane Kiffin, it's going to be about Lane Kiffin. And at this point, you need somebody that's for Mizzou. You need someone and that's one thing that Barry Odom did have. He was always for Mizzou.
Yeah, I don't know
now
about
he
that.
wasn't the world's greatest end game coach. and his coordinating skills certainly left a lot to be desired. But I will say that the guy at least came off as if he put Mizzou first. I don't know you will be able to say that consistently with Lane
I don't
Kiffin.
need you need to hire a coach who you think this is going to be like his dream job.
I think you need a coach that's going to be here for at least that you can guarantee be here for 5 years.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you need to start to build a program. Whoever
Yeah.
it is, you need to get to that Gary Pinkel status again, where you have somebody that's a bedrock that you know that's going to be there, that you're not gonna, that's gonna field every damn opportunity that's above them. And so Mizzou needs stability. And having a coach come in for just 2 to 3 years isn't stability.
I don't think it's a must.
I think if you want to stop the bleeding, you need someone that is a bedrock. You can't have a situation where you had it, say, with
But
Mike Anderson.
that's kind of what you had with this last hire too.
With Odom, you think Odom was looking for the next big gig?
No, I'm saying that he was the guy that was a better.
Oh, right.
So it's not a must to be productive and set the course straight.
I'm thinking of when the Mizzou had Mike Anderson, who was a treat. Was amazing what he did for the Missouri basketball program. But we knew at the end of March that his name was going to come up every 5 seconds for the Arkansas job.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
That was
that's
his
fine. I'm
dream
just saying
job,
that was
too.
his dream job too. But I'm saying ultimately you want to be able to have coaches in play that you know aren't going to, like, we know college football coaches are going to bullshit you, but my God, we don't want a Lane Kiffin, a guy that has failed upward, a guy that is looking for the next big thing at the
Right.
drop of a hat. I don't think Mizzou needs that. Put it that way.
And I wouldn't use Lane Kiffin as my guy in
Okay,
particular.
okay.
It could be a different name. Like we've joked about Les Miles.
Oh, sure.
Would you take Les Miles?
I would not. But if you are going to replace Odom and that's the guy, okay. I think Les Miles is a better coach than Barry Odom.
Yeah.
And I think Les Miles actually I think he would do very well in a lot of living rooms in St. Louis.
He's an actor too.
He is.
It's just I'm using him as an example to say, look, he might only be here 3 years, but if that's enough to right the ship and make the job even more desirable, then after that,
Right.
I think you're still okay.
then if you're going to do that, then that has to be a guy that in 3 years can absolutely
Treat it.
You have to say that in 3 years I need to be in the SEC championship game. Like if you're going to have a
Fine.
guy that you know that's not going to be here long, then he's got to really.
You should not. Your hire of a coach, you should not expect him to be here for 10 years.
That's fine, but I
Yeah.
expect him if he's going to be here for a brief time. And to your point, elevate the program. He needs to make immediate impacts, and only I can
Yeah.
think of an Urban Meyer, Bob Stoops, and maybe
But there-
Les Miles who
but there
can
might,
do that.
There might be a coordinator type that can do that as
True.
well that you don't know about. And
True.
Mike
that's
Leach
fine.
excite you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Now, conversationally,
Now, Southern Missouri will love him, but no, I'll pass.
he'd be interesting.
I think. Look, if
I
if I'm Ben-
disagree with him and agree with him on other points.
Yeah, Dave Matterwood. I mean, he would become a superstar because of
Yeah.
the quotes he'll be able to get from Mike Leach on almost a daily basis. But for the media, I'm sure that's great for them. That'd be great for the Ben Freds and the Benny Hawks. But for a fan like myself, I'm good. Nothing he's done at Washington State that makes me go, "Oh, I'd love to see that in Columbia." No, I'm good. Lane Kiffin would just be funny. I would be entertained as a Mizzou
some
fan.
quotes out of
You would
it.
get a lot of quotes.
Why are you leaving Boca, though? I don't get that.
You wouldn't, not for Columbia in this time of year. But I it'll be fun. It's the mix of Lane Kiffin and the student population at Mizzou worries me. It smells like a Quinn Snyder 2.0 sitch. But if you're going to replace Odom, you need to be able to. We got to replace him with a star. We can't replace him with some. I mean, when I say a star, a guy. Let me preface that. A person
A
that
rising
is
star? Does that
a
count,
rising
too?
star
Okay.
would be preferable. Someone that has even a small sample size of a track record of, oh shit, this guy's putting something together. I'm good with that. But they gotta be, because Mizzou has to do two things here. They not only
that
need,
Will Healy name keeps popping up, and I saw one report said that he had interviewed or declined or whatever, but I don't know what to believe with that or anything. But I mean, there's someone who's considered a rising star, right?
yeah, I like the guys I like. I know they've talked about the guy who is the quarterback coach at LSU, who's worked with the Heisman winner, who's
Wide
going to
receivers coach.
and wide receivers coach, and he's
Passing game coordinator.
and he's expected to get a major pay bump with LSU here soon.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do whatever they can to keep him. But a guy like Napier, who's worked for both Alabama and Clemson, is just appealing to me because this guy has the pedigree. He has the bling to show for it. So that means a lot. Look, if you can go into these homes with these high schoolers, I've said it before, even on the radio side, and you can show them some bling and you can mention, oh, yeah, by the way, I coach Odell Beckham Jr. Oh, yeah, by the way, I coach Amari Cooper. Oh, yeah, when you can drop NFL big names like that to these high school kids and, look, their parents' eyes open up, the kids' eyes open up. When you can say that and say, oh, yeah, by the way, like this national championship ring I won with Saban, like when you can go in the room and do that, that kind of that's a quick way to close the gap. So I don't know. I'm not interested yet until I can bitch about it,
That's fair.
which I probably will at some point.
The guy that they've talked about several different people, but would you think the dude who's 34, or that Will Healy guy, is that too much? There's always the hot pick, right? There's always this guy's going to be the one. He's where's he out of? Charlotte?
I believe so.
Will Healy, yeah. He's 34. He has done well. Looks like he worked at Austin, PA. He turned them around. And then in 2019, Healy's got Charlotte to a 7-5 record in their first ever bowl game.
Yeah.
I think that he may be a fine hire. Again, we knew next to nothing about Gary Pinkel when he was hired. I will say this, though. This coach is going to face some of the similar issues that Gary Pinkel faced. He got a lot of fan apathy. Attendance is poor. This coach has to do a lot very quickly if they want to. Look, they just spent a lot of money on that south end zone. And that thing was basically empty all season long. And that's not a good look for an SEC team. And that's definitely not a good look when you're operating in the red as an athletic department, which the Missouri has done the last 2 years. So you're going to need...
How do you know that? How do you know that?
My fine sources at the Kansas City Star.
Okay.
But I think if you're going to have to be able to answer that, Will Healy may be a good coach, maybe fine. Will he move the needle? I don't know if that moves butts to seats, but he still may be the better person for the job. But it's going to be an uphill. Mizzou's going to need a lot of good PR over the next season in order to start to get folks to start showing up for both football and basketball. Because right now, Missouri students and boosters are just like, whatever, man, whatever. At least for basketball, you got KU coming back on the schedule next year, so you have something to look forward to next season.
I'm thinking Kansas should take Mizzou off again.
Oh boy, here you go.
And just schedule Charlotte Southern.
There you go.
Piece of shit.
There he is. But I think.
Stop talking to me like my mother.
Nah.
But this is what defines, as Jim Sturck's point of view, you're defined on fundraising and what your head coach in football does. It's great. The other programs are great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Basketball, of course. Mizzou has never been it's been a while before you can call it a basketball school.
Whenever I heard that, and I can't remember, I can't remember who the coach was. You guys remind me. But whenever I heard when UConn became relevant there for a couple of years in football, they were part of the Big East, and they were in the whatever. Whenever I heard
It was Randy something.
Was it? Okay.
Randy
Well, they
Edsel?
were.
Maybe.
I can find out. I can Google it. But
What's your point?
The point being, whenever I found out that their one okay year of football, doubled over, maybe quadrupled any money their basketball team, which has been amazing for years, one decent season from their football team made the university
A ton of money.
I mean, I'm going to get out of it. I want to say 10 times more than a national championship basketball team.
Well, we definitely see the gap when it comes to revenue for these universities. Football is just miles ahead, even of like you just pointed out, Chris.
You
the
could say that probably for
basketball
KU.
program.
I'm sure you could.
Hell, I would imagine that if you looked at even Duke is an incredibly sexless basketball program for a decade, but I imagine their football teams, their 7-5 seasons, revenue-wise, do better for them, for the school, than a basketball team does. So, yeah.
This is without any of our research.
Of course.
Correct.
Lacking that. But I know that this is what ultimately defines an AD. Was it Castigliano down in Oklahoma? Who used to be Castiglione, excuse me. Former assistant AD, I think, at one point at Mizzou, who took over the AD job at Oklahoma. He's defined by one of the greatest coaching hires of the entire time, and why
I thought he was the actual AD
did
at
he?
Mizzou.
He maybe he had been, but I don't know if he's still there. I think he may have. Is he still there, AD at OU? The reason why I bring him up, the reason why he's able to keep his job as long as he has isn't because of having Blake Griffin come play for the Sooners. It's because Bob Stoops has been the bedrock of that university for years. So when you make that hire, that's what defines you as an AD. So Stirk knows
Yeah,
that
he's
this is
been-
the biggest decision he'll make of his tenure at Mizzou, because if he misses here and basketball continues to struggle, it's a strong likelihood that Jim Stirk could also be looking at the unemployment line here in a couple seasons. So he has to nail this hire, and I believe he understands that.
Castiglione has been at Oklahoma since 1998 and is currently still there.
See,
It
20
was
years.
The Mizzou AD from 1993 to 1998.
Yeah.
How did you fall into that? Wow. That's amazing.
But again, he went
93 to 98. I mean, yeah, I guess you had the Corby Jones teams.
some lean years at Mizzou, but it's as Mike Alden would point out when he was brought into the AD position at Mizzou, like it was a non-existent athletic department where you had employees walking around in other university gear. Like he said, it just the vibe on campus was Mizzou's something fun, something to do on a Saturday. It wasn't a school for football like it is now, or at least it was for a period.
Right.
So I don't know. I think Stirk seems like, from what I've understood on the fundraising side, he's been a rock star. That's why the boosters and the donors are big fans of his, because apparently he can walk in a room and he's getting a lot of important people to write some decent sized checks. Now he has to just deliver on this coach, and these things aren't an exact science. But if you get it right, you can be a hero for this university for decades to come. So I'm hoping he's able to do that. I don't know. Lane Kiffin, though, God, that'd be funny.
I know.
That'd be funny.
It's
It'd be
funny,
funny,
but then it also feels hollow.
it would
but
feel hollow because you know he would.
Results change that really quick, though.
Just
So.
be cool to see him around the Central West End this time of year.
I guess it'd be interesting.
Dude, you won't believe what I saw at Wheelhouse. Lane Kiffin, dude. Kiff's at the Wheelhouse
Did you get out there and party?
with Pareko. Just down there, hanging out at Wheelhouse with the Blues. That's crazy.
Doing shots.
Doing Jello shots.
Doing fireball.
Wasn't he saying he's going to turn FAU into a power?
Yeah, something to that.
I don't really pay attention to what he says
Right.
much. He does have some funny tweets here and there.
Yeah.
Can I, I'm going to take something off the board for next week for Great American Race, because I think it's that funny.
Okay.
I won't use it against your people this week, but I just wanted to share this story because I think some of these analysts, like us, they spend a lot of time talking in front of the mic, and oftentimes, like us, will say something incredibly stupid, and it seems like,
Florida Atlantic 9-3 this year. By the way.
oh shit, okay,
Oh, now you want Lane Kiffin?
oh wow,
They've went 11-3, 5-7, 9-3.
okay, not bad, not crazy. The San Francisco 49ers recently suspended radio analyst Tim Ryan
Yeah.
on Wednesday after he said on a Bay Area radio station that Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson's dark skin helps him disguise a dark football when running fake handoffs in Baltimore's zone read heavy offense. Ryan will not be a part of the broadcast this Sunday against the New Orleans Saints while serving the suspension. Obviously, 49ers put out the statement and said they were disappointed. But this is what Ryan said. He made comments earlier in an interview on the Murph and Mac show on KNBR radio
True.
in San Francisco.
People would be would have been tanning for years, right? Like that. Like,
This is the
I
hot
can
take.
get my skin really dark. Like I can
Spray
get my
on
skin
tans
really
before
dark.
games?
Yeah.
He's really good at that fake, Lamar Jackson. But when you consider his dark skin color with a dark football with a dark uniform, you could not see that thing. I mean, you literally could not see when he was in and out of the mesh point.
I don't
Says
see what the
Tim
big deal
Ryan.
is.
Jackson, of course, led Baltimore to a win this past Sunday against the 49ers with rushing for 101 yards and a touchdown on 16 carries. This is,
So he's just saying he's a fan of black quarterbacks.
I think that's one way to put it. I think that's one advantage I never heard of before.
Yeah. You get it. Yeah.
I don't know Tim Ryan personally, and I would imagine there are enough people that'll vouch for him as being a good character. This was a stupid mistake, but it was a mistake nonetheless. I
Yeah.
don't think there was any ill intent behind that. I think he was an idiot.
I
I
still,
think he's just a plain
It
old
is
stupid
just
idiot.
I've
funny.
seen Tim Ryan
It is
do
funny.
national games before on
Yeah.
Fox, and I've always said he's got like that shadowy beard look.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be known for this. I want him to be known for what I want him to be known for, which is a guy who looks like he would fit in perfectly in a Just for Men commercial. Like absolutely
Right. Like poster
perfect.
boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He should be.
Oh,
look at
okay.
a picture of him.
I know this guy.
he could be in a Just for Men commercial with the beard the way he has it.
Yeah.
And I give Ryan credit. This is what he says. I regret my choice of words in trying to describe the conditions of the game. Lamar Jackson is an MVP caliber player, and I respect him greatly. I want to sincerely apologize to him and anyone else I have offended.
Yeah,
That's
I
how it's done. That's
Yeah.
I mean, not to be funny, but we talk about, woke culture, PC culture in this world. Like, Tim Ryan recognizes that, oh shit, in trying to make a football point, I clearly
It's just kind of weird.
screwed that up.
kinda
It was
weird,
It was
I
weird.
guess,
It was
yeah.
wrong. I offended people. I offended the Lamar Jackson. And I apologize to not only the organization, but to the Ravens and their fans. Like, that's how it's supposed to be done. And now this will be a non-issue. Tim Ryan will forget about this by the end of the year. It's done and over with. It's a silly mistake.
Here's how I'll put it. What he said is not worse than when other analysts were saying he shouldn't be a quarterback before he went
Yes.
into the NFL.
Yes. Bingo. There are people who said the potential league MVP should not have been a quarterback. Now go after those guys. Those are the guys you truly go after.
Yeah, go after them.
Go after them.
Tim Ryan.
Tim
What
Ryan.
he said is not worse than that.
Right. I completely agree with you there. And again, like I said, I think just even in the school of PR and common sense, this is how you handle it. You apologize to not only the person you were talking about, but to anyone who else may have been offended, and it's over with. Tim Ryan will get to keep his job, and guess what? He'll be fine. He won't have people protesting at games. No one will be screaming for his job on the internet. It's over with. So for everybody that's we're so soft in this country, we're so petty.
There's your voice
I
again.
know, I apologize. I don't know why I make that. That's what they
Strange
sound
voice.
like to me. That's what they sound like.
Sorry, I appropriated.
That's fair.
All right.
Who are your shout outs today, guys?
Whew.
Really? Holiday
know.
season, no one to shout out?
Don't know.
Okay. Chris, who you shouting out today?
Oh man, I'm gonna shout out the people who make every stop sign awkward.
Oh.
If we could just do the right of way thing,
Yeah, it would
make
be
it.
helpful.
It's just so
Yeah,
easy.
that would be helpful.
Because then you get the people who in St. Louis, like, we got all these crazy drivers. They'll whip around into the lane and then cut you off and all this stuff. But yeah, big shout out to the people that just go when it's their turn. That happens every day, and then you do this, and all you have to do is just, if you were there first, you go. We don't have to play games.
I'll shout out to Josh Brolin for burning his butthole.
I saw this story, sadly, on TMZ. Now, give people what he's doing this new thing that apparently the influencers are doing.
The perineum sunning.
Oh God, what is this? Is this a joke?
Apparently, it's just for 30 seconds is all you need. And I don't know what it helps. I don't know what it does.
I feel like this is the new Tide Pods for 2019.
I don't know if someone's trying to pull one over on you.
I think they are. Right?
But,
this isn't a thing. This is a ha, let's make fun of how stupid we will do things
So
that
the
influencers
perineum
say.
is that the scientific or medical term for the area between your butthole and the in the genitals, right? So they're doing perineum sunning, I guess is the deal.
Jesus,
I don't
people.
like I said, I don't know what it's supposed to help. I guess there's some good it can do, but they had Josh Brolin doing it. And he said he had to go to the doctor because he had burned himself. And that's going to happen when you're given an area of sun that normally doesn't get it. I want to open a line of tainting salons instead of tanning salons in St. Louis now.
So you just replace instead of tanning, you just
tainting salon.
salons, okay?
Something. It's an
Okay.
idea. I think that could work.
Okay.
Or at least have a room in your tanning salon where it's the tainting salon.
I find this has to be Josh Brolin just fucking with. This is a
That's what I'm wondering. We need more details than just an Instagram post. That's where he revealed it.
Yeah, I think
Said
Josh
he
Brolin.
called it his pucker hole.
Okay.
That's
All right.
yeah, boy.
There you go.
Yeah, boy.
He burned his pucker hole and had to go to the doctor to relieve some of the pain and discomfort.
Big shout out to our friends at Gateway Powder Coating for supporting this. Maybe they could powder coat Mr.
Roland's pucker hole?
Brolin. Yeah, that'll do. Yes, shout out to them. Shout out to Tech Electronics. Shout out to all of our great sponsors. If you have time tonight, 6 o'clock at Sophie's, Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Come eat beforehand. It's going to be a great time. Trav will be there to shake your hand, and thank you for coming out. And then 8:30 at a Gastropit on the Hill. So join us. 2 shows tonight. Going to be a blast. Guys, thanks for tuning in today. We're live tomorrow, 8 a.m. We're going to have a lot of fun. And then we also have Godfrey coming by. He's at Helium all weekend. So Travis, Gardner, thanks everybody. We're back tomorrow live at 8 a.m.
Peace.
Burned his pucker hole.
Oh, boy.